You better let somebody love you before it's too late.
Hey! What's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the unique toys Desperado. So here we are, and there he is, and first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging right up front. We have a nice image there of Desperado, looking all dark and mysterious, ages 15 plus. On this side, we have Desperado. On the other side, Desperado. On the bottom, nothing. On the top, truck mode. On the back of the box, not much. Unique toys up top, ages 15 plus, choking hazard, bloody, bloody, bloody. And that's basically it for the packaging. And also in the box, you get 2 collector's cards. You get one for Desperado here with his tech specs, and you also get one for Brother Nero, in case you need a card for Brother Nero. There he is, tech specs. Hooray for cards. And moving right along, here we have Desperado, and this is Unique Toys' take on Dark of the Moon Megatron. And here he is in his robot mode. He is packed in robot mode, and looks wonderful, in my opinion. Love the way this guy looks, love the detailing, love the paintwork here. Now, there are 2 different versions of this figure that exist. This is the battle-damaged version, and he's all, you know, weathered and beaten up looking, and there's also a version that's, like, totally clean. So you have an option there, and as always, options are good, but I prefer my Megatron all beaten up and dirty and dingy. But let's get in close here so we can take a look not at his mega crotch, but at his mega noggin. There's the mega noggin. And you can see here, very nicely done head sculpt there. Lots of detail there on his busted up side. Get a little bit of red in there, a little bit of blue. And yeah, a little golden there as well. But all in all, a very, very nicely done Megatron-y head sculpt there. Looks very, very good. And moving on down the body, you can see lots of nice detail. Again, all this weathering here going on, just making him look dingy and dirty. You got some nice details in there as well, done in a nice gunmetal gray. And then the arms, even the tires are all dinged up and everything. Got some red and blue in there. His little claw hand. And his big old claw hand. And again, nicely done. Nice sculpting here. Nice paintwork. And he is just big and beefy and big and beefy. He is a hefty boy. He is a hefty dude here. He definitely has some weight to him. His big old feet. And moving up the back, you can see here, very clean transformation going on here. Got these little smokestacks here, which are die cast. But all in all, looks really good. Looks really, really good, in my opinion. Now, as far as articulation goes, the head can rotate, can do a full 360. The head is basically on a double hinge here, so you can have it sitting up, although that looks kind of weird, but you can get some forward and backward movement there. You can look up, not too much, but you can look down a good bit. You don't get any wiggly waggly, it's not on a ball joint, it's just on those hinges there. Now, as far as the arms go, the arms can rotate. Can do a full 360, and one annoyance here about the shoulders is that they don't hold in place too well. You can see there's little tabs that go into these slots here. They hold on okay, but they do come untabbed pretty easily, and that's definitely an annoyance. So you lose points for that. But anyway, moving on down. Actually, we're not moving on down. We're still staying at the shoulder because we have outward movement as well. Again, nice tight ratchet. You can get out pretty far before things start to fall apart. Again, really wish that stayed together a little bit more securely, but oh well. But now we can move on down the arm, because we do have, we don't have any bicep rotation, because all this is kind of seized up due to transformation, but you do have a double jointed elbow. You only get about that much bend out of it, but you can get still decent range of movement. You do have rotation right here. As far as the little claw hand goes, it rotates, can move in and out. And you can get some splay there. You have hinges on these little claws here, and even the very tips of the claws are on hinges. This can move, hinge here, hinge there, and hinge there, and this is one that's just on a hinge at the base right here. Now on this side, since we have more of a proper hand, we do get a little bit of wrist rotation again. Just all of this around him just hinders it a bit, but you can get some in and out as well. The thumb can move up and down. You have a hinge here and a hinge here, and each finger has a hinge there and a hinge there, and you also have hinges that allow the hands to splay out a little bit, which is nice. Now, as far as the waist goes, he does have a waist joint, but on my copy, it is like seized up, and it does not want to move. But he does have a waist joint. I'm going to have to take his waist apart and see what's going on there. But his waist does turn. He does also have an ab crunch, which is nice. You can move these little skirt pieces out of the way, so the legs can move forward about that far, back, get back about that far. Again, there's a lot of stuff in the way just due to his design. He's kind of a very cluttered design. Outward, you can get out about that much again before stuff starts to get in the way. Of course, the shoulder's going to come undone. The knees, we'll move on down here. This panel here, we'll move out of the way. It's spring-loaded. So the knees, you can get up. You can get a nice deep bend there at the knees. You can see some nice detail in there that gets revealed as well. And as far as the feet go, the toes can move up, they can move down. You do have tiltage, and even the heel tilts as well. Now, as far as accessories go, you do get 4 of these. They're on the little sprue here. You can clip these off if you want to. These are, I believe, the little spider things that are crawling around his head in the movie. So you can clip those off if you want to. You do also get this little buddy here, Igor. There you go. Nice paint, tongue sticking out. His little shoulders are on a ball joint, legs can move forward and back. And that's pretty much all it can do. And here he is with the Studio Series version. And here he is with the Alien Attack version. You can see how that works out. So you get the little guy there. Of course, you also get his shotgun, which is very nicely done. Done in gunmetal gray there. You got some gold, some blue in there as well. A couple different shades of gray. Not 50 shades of gray, but a couple shades of gray. It looks quite nice. You also get the holster for it. Again, this looks a little dinged up there. You got some gunmetal gray in there as well. That just slides right in. Like so. You have a post on either side. You can plug it on either side of his back. We turn him around. There are 2 posts back, 2 ports rather, back here, one here and one here. So you can plug this in either one. As always, do what you want. You can have that hanging out on his back right there. And you also get some chains. You get some metal chains here. So you get 4 separate chains here, and they work via lobster claw clasps. And this is kind of the configuration that I came up with. I just have them like an X, and I have them just kind of clipped together here. You can kind of see what I got going on here. Then you just drape this over him and get it all secured. And there he is with his chains. Even Megatron likes to accessorize with some jewelry. Why not? Dare I say why not? But the last thing we get is his little tarp deal. You can see it's nice and weathered, dinged up there. You can make it a little dirtier if you want to, and this works via some Velcro here. So all you do is just take this and drape this over his noggin and just attach the Velcro. Then just get everything all situated. Just kind of tuck it under his chin there. And once you've done that, there you go. There you have Megatron all dressed and ready to go to the ball. And doesn't he look beautiful? He looks gorgeous. Look at him. Look at him! Now, as far as the shotgun goes, he can hold it in either hand. You do have a post right here on the end that will plug into a port right here in his claw hand. So if you want that going on, you can totally have that going on. But if you want him to hold it in his proper hand, he can do so as well. You just use the tab here on the side, and it will go into the slot right here. And just line it up and plug it in, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. Oops. There we go. Oops. Takes a little bit of doing. There we go. Plug that in, wrap his fingers around it, and there you go. And he can pew pew bang bang, pew pew bang bang, and all of that good stuff. And there you have the original Robo Hobo with a shotgun. And the last thing to show off here is the light up feature. Now to install the batteries, you need to remove the sides of his head. They just unpeg. And back here, you have two screws that you undo. Remove the back of his head, and the battery compartment is right in there. Now, I used two SR621 batteries. I don't know if those are the exact batteries that are supposed to go in there, but it's what I had on hand. They fit in the battery compartment and they worked, so we're going to go with that. But once you get the batteries installed and put his head back together, you just push the button back here and his eyes will glow a nice evil red. And that looks really cool and really makes that detail in his eyes pop as well. So very cool effect there. Oh, and I also almost forgot to mention in the articulation on his mouth opens and closes so he can go "Mah! Ah!" while his eyes glow. Mah! So there you have that, and now for comparison. Here he is with the MPM and the Wei Zhang Optimus Prime, and I think the Wei Zhang one works a bit better, for me anyway. Here he is with Unique Toys Challenger. Here he is with the MPM Megs and the TF Dream Factory Revenge of the Fallen Megs. And with some other Unique Toys Megses with Galvatron and Megs from the Last Knights. With the original Dark of the Moon Megs and the Studio Series version. And lastly but not leastly, here he is with the Alien Attack Dark of the Moon Megs. So you can see how that works out. And in my personal opinion, I think the Unique Toys version looks way better. Just an overall beefier, chunkier look here to the Unique Toys version. I like the head sculpt a lot more. Just sculpting all around I like a lot more on the Unique Toys version than I do the Alien Attack version. But as always, just my opinion, to each their own. So, there you go. So that is basically it for the robot mode, so let's get down to transformation, shall we? Let's. Now, this is a very involved transformation. It's not one of those transformations, but there's a lot to do here. Definitely a lot to do here. So, first thing we're going to do, we're going to start off with the crotch. We're just going to take these side panels here and just lift them up like so. The best way to kind of get things situated is to just bring his arms up and get them out of the way. Make sure this doesn't come undone in the process. It's going to anyway, but bring the arms up, and we're going to lay him down, because again, this is going to be just kind of the best way to get all of this done here. So first thing we are going to do is we're going to take this section here, take his thigh, and just bring this up, then bring this section up, and this bit here will just rotate in like so. And just leave that out of the way for now. So once we have done that, we're going to start working on all of this here. So this inside panel here is spring-loaded. So you want to just pull this out and then just take this entire wheel section here, pull that out, and raise that up. You have this section here that you want to raise up as well. You can also unfold this bit. You don't have to do it now if you don't want to, but I do it now. So bring that up like so. And once we have done that, you want to come here to this section and you just want to push this out like that. Just get that up and out of the way, and that will allow you to take all of this and swing it out like that. Then you can just swing this out, and this you can pretty much get situated now. You can just bring this down. This will tab in here, rotate this, bring that up, and that will tab in there. You just leave that chilling out there for now. So what we're going to do next is there is this little tab here, this little section here that's tabbed in. Just want to undo that little latch there. That allows you to bring all of this down, and then you can just rotate it outward, like so. And then we can extend these joints here and get to working on everything else. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take this wheel section here. You're going to, oops, wait, I'm doing this the wrong way. We have to flip him on. We have to flip him over onto his belly here. That's why my orientation was all screwed up. There we go. You want to take this wheel section here, and you want to not pull the tire off. You want to take this, and by the way, rubber tires. You want to take this, bring it up halfway, take the wheel, rotate it around, and then just swing this in the rest of the way like so. You can take the whole foot here. All this will just pivot up like that. Get that into place. You just kind of want to tilt this out of the way a little bit, because you're going to take all this and you're going to just swing it around. Make sure this little spring-loaded panel is out of the way also. So swing all this around like so, and that will tab into place right there, like that. So once you have done that, we can get some other things situated. There's a lot to get situated. Again, this is a very involved transformation, but it's not too bad. So what we're going to do now, we're going to raise this up, and basically what we need to do is we need to get all this lined up here, because there is a tab that's going to go into a slot right in here. So you need to make sure that you have that lined up, and I believe I do. Need to make sure that this is out of the way as well. So you want to bring this section up. You want to push the smokestack out, pull it out the rest of the way, and this will just swing in. Can't get this out of the way, man. Get out of my way, man. So just bring this up, and that will just drop down, and this will just tab itself into place like so. You can see that cab starting to come together. So one thing we can do now, just to get this out of the way, is that we can rotate the thigh inward, like so. Rotate the thigh in, and then rotate just the cab section back up, like that. You have that sitting like that. So now this is up top, and this is off to the side, and now it's really out of your way. I should have done that first. But there we go. I do it more efficiently in the JTI. But you want to take now this panel here, we'll untab. This panel here will untab as well. This will swing down and just fill in that little space right there. Then you are going to bring this up. There is this panel here that will come down and all the way out. You want to swing this 180, then just take this panel here, swing that all the way in, and open the door, flip out the window, close that back up, and then bring that down. There's a tab that will go into a slot right up in here. If you have everything right, it should just drop right down like that. And there you go. You can bring up this little mirror as well. These little mirrors are packed separately. They just plug in right there. They are made of die cast also. And you have your side view mirror. I leave this in just so it's not something that can get in the way. And also you can bring down the spike as well, but I leave that tucked in again just so it doesn't snag on anything, so you don't risk breaking it. But there you go. And then this wheel section here, there is a tab slot connection right in there. So you just didn't bring that in. Tab that in, and there we go. And we have one half of the cab all done. And guess what? Second verse is just like the first. Okay, so we got both sides done. There's still two more steps we have to do right up here with the front. So this toe right here is going to swing under. There's a little tab that it's going to slot into, and then you take this toe and just swing that to the inside like that. And do that on the other side. Just swing that in, tab it in, and then swing this toe in. There we go. So now we have both sides complete. So once we have done that, we need to come here. We need to untab his butt plates and bring that forward. And all of this is going to come together. We have a tab slot connection right here inside the hips, and then we have tabs and slots going down the cab. So just line everything up, and everything should, if you did everything right, everything should just come right together like so, and like so, and everything will just marry together beautifully like that. Get this tabbed in. And there we go. So you have this little section here with a ladder. You just push that down. And there are tabs and slots for that as well. You can squeeze that together and that'll help it just tab in like so. So you got that going on right there. And we are on our way. And that is pretty much the whole front section done. Again, you can flip these down, but I leave them up because if not, they'll just snag on stuff. So we'll save that for last. But once we have that all done, we can now work on the back. Now he can just drag himself across the road on his face, which is kind of unfortunate. But anyway, I am not having a good day. And no, stop torturing him. Let's stop torturing him. Okay, so now we can work on the upper body here. So first thing we want to do, we want to take these little shoulder sections here, just bring them up and bring all that up like so. Helps if you kind of extend his head up a little bit. So what's going to happen here, one more thing we can do here is just tab these two sections together as well, right there. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to unclip his chest, and this part is a bit hard to do because this holds together very, very securely, like a little too securely. But and there is an easier way to do it, but I can't do it on camera. But basically, you're just trying to pop the chest out, and that's the easiest thing to do. See, the way I usually do it, and it's hard to do this on camera, is that I would put my thumbs right here on these hinges and then just kind of push them out with my fingers. And again, I can't do that on camera because it's just the weirdest angle ever. But if you do it this way, you can kind of pop it out. Again, this part, this is the one part that fights you. There we go. That's the one part that fights you here on this transformation, just getting that chest unclipped. It's the only real thing that fights you on this. But anyway. Okay, so now that we have that done, we have all this freed up. So once we have all this freed up, we need to come back here, and we need to unclip this whole back panel here. And that will just pop right up. This usually comes undone easily, but now it's going to fight me. There we go. So pop that up. So now that we have all that freed up, now all of this is going to just extend out and extend out like so. So all that's just going to straighten out like that. And we need to do some more extending here. So we need to rise right up here. So this section right in here is on a slider. So you want to pull this up like that. Just pull this up as far as it will go. Like that. And we're getting there. We are getting there. So there are little steps we need to do here. Is we need to take these sections here, and you just want to rotate it back, then bring it up and rotate it in. Just rotate that back, bring it up, and rotate it in, and that will sit there like so. Once we have done that, you want to take this little bit right here, bring that down, and that will clip over. Just a big tab, it's just going to clip over. Just angle that up, and that will just drop into place. Of course, now it doesn't want to just drop into place. Why? Because the camera's on. Any other time, no problem. There we go. That just flattens out right there. As always, when the camera's on, everything wants to fight you. But once we have all that situated, now we can get some structure going on back here. So to do that, we're just going to now take these sections here. We're going to swing them in, and we have a slot right here that will go over this tab right here. So just take all this and swing that in. That will tab in right there. And there we go. And that keeps all that nice and rigid. Now we have structure and stability. So bring that in. Just drop that in. And tabby tab. And voila. There we go. Now we got some structure and stability there with the tank. And these sections here, we have a tab slot connection for these. Just bring these back. You want to make sure that these little tabs are facing down like that. Just tab those in. Oh, before you do that, rotate these 180. Tab that down. Rotate that 180. And tab that down. And those just sit there like that. I'm not a fan of these just kind of hanging out there like that, but it is what it is. Alrighty, so there we go. It's starting to look like a thing. It's starting to look like a thing. So once we have done that, we'll try to keep things together here with the shoulders, but they're not going to. It's okay. So now what we need to do is we need to come back here. These little sections will just come up like so. All of this is going to, again, make sure these two bits here are all the way in like that, and this will swing in. Bring these two halves up. Make sure this little bit is up. Bring these two halves together like that, and just swing all that in like so, and then you can just flatten these out on the back like that, and you got that done. So now we can work on the arms. So we'll start off with this side here. So if it hasn't done it for you already, just unclip this little shoulder piece here. You can flip that in now. You want to make sure that the shoulder ratchet is all the way in, so it is sitting like so. Make sure that ratchet is straight in there, because if it's not, it'll knock things out of whack and it won't line up. So now we've done that. Just rotate this around so we can work on stuff. So what you want to do here, we'll start on the forearm here. So what you want to do on this side is you want to open this up. You want to open this side up. Open up this little inside panel. Bring this up. And that will allow you to flip this up. And all of this will open up like so. Unfold all of this. Bring this up. Bring this down. Then you have this panel here that will flip up as well. And there you got that done. Line that up. Kind of bend the elbow right there so it's sitting like that. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take this little shoulder pad section here. There's a tab slot connection right here. So just plug that in like so. Then you want to untab this little die cast piece here. Untab that and undo this section of the arm right here. Bring that in, and then that will allow you to rotate all of this down like so. This little panel here will also just rotate in, and all that will sit like that. And that's how you want all that looking right there. So once you have done that, you also want to make sure you have his hand kind of open like that. So what's going to happen here is we need to now swing all this around so that all this ends up in this orientation like that. So now we're going to have multiple connection points here. We have a tab slot connection right here, a tab slot connection right here, tab slot connection right here, and another tab slot connection right here that goes into here. And there's also a tab slot connection that will go into the chest as well. And oops, there was something I forgot to do in the chest. You have to collapse these little panels in as well. There we go. Collapse these little side panels here in the chest. There we go. Again, watch the JTI. I do things so much more efficiently in the JTI. Anyway, so once we've done that, we can just bring all this in and just tab all it in, tab it all in, and tab it all in, and tab it all in. Boom, boom, oops. And you want to make sure that Meg's hand is basically just kind of, he's cradling his own head there in his hands. So just line all that up, and all that should just tab right in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And once we have that done, there's also a tab slot connection right here on the side of the chest as well. So just make sure that's pushed in, and again, you just have him just kind of cradling his head there. That's how you want that looking. So there you have that side all situated. Actually, for the most part, you just want to bring this up. That will tab in right there. And then back here, you have this rear bumper section. That will tab in right there. And lock all of that into place. This little tank, you just swing in. And there you go. And that is one side all done. And we're going to do almost the same thing on the other side. Not totally second verse, just like the first. So, again, if this hasn't come undone for you, just unclip that. bring that in. Again, make sure that shoulder ratchet is all the way in, like so. Rotate that around, and we will get going here. So, what we need to do here is you have this panel on the inside. You just undo that. Then you take this panel right here and open this up, like so. That will allow you to then bring all of this out. You can take this hand, just kind of get all the fingers together as best you can. That will just come up and end up sitting like that. So bring that out, tab that and extend that, bring that down, and then you want to take this section here, bring this up, and this panel will come up. I'll lock that panel so I can come around. That will just tab in right there like so. And again, just angle that thusly. And you have that section all situated there. So as far as the upper arm, we're doing the same thing we did before. Just bring this down. This will tab in to that slot right there in the shoulder. Like that. Undo that. Undo this section here. And swing all this around. Again, this little panel also swings in. Rotate all of this around like so. And we got everything sitting the way we need it to. So again, we just need to rotate all this around so it will sit thusly, like that. And again, we're just going to be tabbing everything in to the sides here. Tab it in, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in. Like I said, it's a lot to do. It's a lot to do. I don't consider this a nightmare transformation. I mean, everything works pretty well. It's just a lot to do. And of course, when the camera's on, everything wants to fight me also, but it's really not as hard as I'm making it look. Okay, so we got all that tabbed in. Again, this section just come up and tab in right there. Tab in this rear bumper, like so. Take this tank, just rotate it in. There's also a little tab slot connection right up in here as well, so just make sure you just have that pushed in on either side. Again, make sure that the chest is tabbed into the side as well. Make sure everything is nice and squozen. And that's how you want all of that looking. So we are done back there. Now just a couple more little steps here. Bring out side view mirrors. Bring down these little front spikes here. And I think we're done. Are we done? Yes, we're done. Woo! Again, it's a lot to do, but it's not too bad. And there we have Desperado in his truck mode. There's no spinning him. There's no spinning him. Rubber tires. We can't do the spin. We can't. I'm sorry. But there he is in his Mad Max truck mode, and yeah, looks good. Looks good. I can work with it. But let's get in close here so we can take a look at the details. We got all the spikage going on up front. Nice and deadly looking. Quite nice. And again, the nice weathering. Looks dingy and dirty. Got the hash marks there on the side, which I love. The smokestack's done in a gunmetal gray. Again, the tires looking all nice and dinged up. Now the tank section, I mean, it does look a little disjointed, a little gappy. It's not the most cohesive. It still, you know, from some angles, it still kind of gets the look across, like the lower rack up top with the, you know, with the supports and whatnot. It still tries to maintain the shape of the tank. We got the little spare tires here on the side, which I do quite like. You know, but it's a little broken up. It's a little, you know, not the most cohesive. But again, from some angles, it doesn't look too bad. And then back here, we got little lights picked out in red. And there is the top. There is the bottom. You do have visible head syndrome. Hi, how you doing? How you doing? There he is. But again, you have rubber tires. He does roll as rolling things should. Hooray, hooray for rolling. Then for comparison, here he is with the MPM Prime. With the original Voyager Dark of the Moon Megatron. He's so tiny. Look at him. He's like a little baby. With the Studio Series version. And lastly but not leastly, here it is with the Alien Attack version of Dark of the Moon Megs. Now the Unique Toys version is bigger in some respects, definitely longer. Now the Alien Attack version does have the more cohesive backside, the more cohesive truck booty. The Unique Toys version, not so much. It looks, quite broken up. It doesn't look horrible to me, but definitely not as cohesive as the Alien Attack version. But both have their strengths, both have their weaknesses. So it's really up to you to decide which one you think is better, so there you go. Now as far as features in truck mode, you can open up the doors here. There's nothing that really resembles a seat, but there's space in there. You can take maybe a little Igor, whatever. Maybe stuff them in there. I don't think it'll fit. Maybe you will. There you go. You can just stuff them in there. That's not going to work. That's just not a good day. Not a good day for anyone. Just leave them out of it. But yeah, you can open and close the doors. You do get some turning here. Although when you do it, things kind of bump and maybe kind of destroying some things. So just kind of be mindful. But you do get a little bit of turning there with the cab. And of course, if you really don't like the way the back looks, you can take the tarp here and drape that over, and then you can wrap it up with the chains however you want, and do that. Things you can do if you want to do it. And there is weapon storage for the shotgun here. You can just take these two tabs. There's slots on either side right here. So you can just feed this in and just kind of get everything lined up. Again, it takes some doing, and it's way easier to do when you don't have a camera under your chin and doing this at arm's length, but there we go. Just kind of plug that in there. You can have the holster with it, but it'll kind of rattle around. But hey, you have storage if you want storage. It doesn't get in the way of anything. So there you go. So there you have Desperado. And yeah, nicely done figure in my opinion. I do like it better than Alien Attack. Like it way better than Alien Attack. I think just the overall look of the robot mode looks a lot better in my opinion. As far as the alt mode goes, I think I may give that to Alien Attack just because it has the more cohesive tank section in the back. But it doesn't look that bad on the Unique Toys version, just wish it was a little bit more cohesive. The transformation isn't bad, it's not one of those transformations, it's just a lot to do. But everything gets where it needs to go without much effort. Just a little fiddle factor, but not to a frustrating degree. The thing that'll fight you the most is just getting that chest unclipped. That's the only thing that's really going to fight you. But the figure does a pretty good job of getting out of its own way, like nothing's really that fiddly. My biggest complaint with the figure is the shoulders. Those shoulder tabs needed to hold on a lot more securely, and they come undone way too easily, and that can get annoying. So that's something that definitely could have been improved upon. But overall, he's a big, heavy, hefty, chunky bot, and I'm quite pleased with him. For the most part, I am quite pleased with him. So there you go. And now I picked mines up from TF Safari. I'll put a link to their site in the description down below so you can check that out. You can also check out my third-party Transformers playlist for any reviews you may have missed. Also linked in the description down below so you can check that out as well. And of course, for all your other Transformers needs, you can check out BigBadToyStore.com. As always, linked in the description down below so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it. So don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Love Peace Paranormal, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So there is the Unique Toys Desperado. And this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud, palm in your face. Let's face it, where would you be without me, Prime? Maybe it's time we find out. You know what? That was totally a rhetorical question. You know, it's like, what if Laserbeak pooped rainbows? I mean, you don't really want to know the answer. You have that weird look in your eyes. I'm gonna go now.